Good afternoon and welcome into another Titan Talks. Kilgoon joining me once again to sit down with you all and go through, I guess, what's been going on in the community or what's been going on in the world of SMITE too.
Xbalanque aspect out today.
Came out today. I believe within the last 30 minutes, Xbalanque's aspect of the Night Stalker should be available for you all. So jump in game, give us feedback, let us know how it's going in your games with the Xbalanque. So far, from what I've seen, people say he seems to be doing pretty well.
Yep.
So far, I don't know about data-wise, but from what I can see in the games, people are, realizing he's pretty good.
I feel like I should turn these so people can see the
that would be helpful,
characters,
probably. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Probably a little
especially
more
if
scenic.
you're on display. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, the only thing I've got for you today is just a quick hotfix that went out this morning, which was for the Nagas on the Conquest map. If you noticed, which many of you did, the Nagas just weren't spawning. That, I believe, has been fixed.
That was a weird one. Yeah. I don't exactly know what the cause was, but odd that would break.
Have an impact. It's a weird one, though. It's not something that's going to be easily noticed until someone goes, has anyone seen a Naga recently? I'm like, no.
Well, and it seemed like it was working in our dev environment. It was working in, like, PTS. There were a number of things that, like, were working in PTS and then didn't work in live this patch, which is
unusual for us.
It's unusual.
Yeah.
We're pretty good at making usually PTS is a very good testing ground, like this one's for, and things that are working or not working carry over well. But like Xbalanque ult not slowing was working fine in PTS and then it broke in live. So sometimes things happen. So sorry about that. We'll get it fixed. We got it fixed.
Yep. People just aren't used to playing against Xbalanque yet. That's kind of what happens with the new gods most of the time, is people getting to grips with not just what they used to do and going, oh yeah, that's what that character did, but also any +1s that come with it too and the effects it can have on the game, because that's definitely confused me at times where I'm like, wait, that's really useful.
Yeah. I was playing against Aspect Osiris in playtest today, and it was just like, it just took me a few, like, oh wait, he can do that. Oh wait, he can do that. Okay, yeah, it takes a couple times of seeing it before your brain gets wrapped around it.
Definitely having to adjust there. So we don't have too much today. Obviously, we talked about what's coming next week with the fact that we'll be discussing through Osiris. And some of the new god pipeline. I believe
Monday we're going to go over next few gods, maybe a little bit more teasery stuff about stuff in just the next couple updates.
Sure.
We don't want to go too far. Yeah. And then at some point we might do kind of through the end of the year, but just for right now, I think better to focus on like the next month.
Sure.
But we got a lot of good stuff coming.
So I was going to say, some of the reaction in the community, Kilgoon, was kind of like, oh man, we've not got anything to look forward to. We're not leaking much. But at the same time, we're trying to be realistic, I guess, of like things can change in our development pipeline. We don't want to give people hope of something that may change.
Yeah. And I think it's like, it's not like we try and be as open about stuff as we can once we know that like things are definitely happening. But we've been flexing a lot internally, trying to prioritize the most important things.
Yeah.
So.
And that will always continue to change. What happened with the PTS leaks? What leaks?
I didn't see any.
Who says the leaks, chat? Maybe we do all that. Maybe it's all intentional. Always. Maybe what we give the data miners is also intentional too.
Yeah.
Just to throw people off.
I heard an interesting thing today.
Oh.
It sounds like we might try and PTS the next god after Osiris with the next PTS cycle.
Yeah, but we can't just say the next god and not.
No, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just saying
it might also be they might
get to play that early too.
So is that the female goddess you were talking about? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And that might be in the next one then. For when we do the next PTS, we'll see.
Yeah, that's currently the thought.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Yeah, I think that like this, the group of people who play PTS are more able to deal with things in a not done state, right? Like we couldn't put those on the live server yet, right? But I think that like getting early feedback about feels, bugs that we may not be encountering, I think it was useful this time with Osiris. So maybe we'll do it with the next god too.
Yeah.
How long will it take to fix Merc bugs? Merc bugs are on our to fix list. The 3 in particular
is a big problematic.
Is a big one. I think we fixed most of the issues with the 4.
Yeah, I believe the ultimate stuff has been corrected, but I believe there is still some awkwardness around the 3 that's being worked on.
The 3 is rough. Yeah, the programmers were talking yesterday about like the best way to solve that. There's a couple different approaches for it, but yeah, I'm not sure if the fixes will be in the next update. But that is one of the like worst feels bugs in the game right now. So definitely aware of that and trying to work through it.
A lot of questions about weekend's video. Yeah. But at the same time, I haven't. It came out an hour ago.
Yeah, an hour ago. Yeah.
So like I saw
in the middle of playtest and
like we've been doing playtest and obviously we've got other work that's going on at the moment. But I haven't actually seen it. Have you a chance to catch any video?
So I've watched like the first 15 minutes of it. I think it's like 20 minutes long. I watched, and then the show was happening. So
so you had to jump out.
Yeah. I also watched Intersect's video. So there were kind of two videos that came out with somewhat similar topics around the same time.
It appears most of the creators are on the same wavelength for the moment, I guess.
I think that like the reason for it, right, is like the numbers have been gradually trending up. Like, let me just say, I hate that Steam makes numbers visible.
Sure.
Because it's so hard to interpret
what that data means.
The very limited amount of data that they give you of like, what's the number of people currently playing the game
at this moment,
and how does that transfer into how many people are playing the game in a month, right? Because if people are playing for fewer days a week because they got busy with school or other games or something, then your CCU is going to go down, but you might have the same number of people playing in the course of a month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So login is the same, but play at any given time is changed.
It can be, right? Like, and like there's just a lot of context that's missing from that. But I think that everybody sees, like, if you are obsessed about the Steam numbers, as a lot of gamers seem to be, that September trending down a little bit when previously we've been kind of trending up and up and up, right?
Sure.
And I think people are like, oh no, I'm worried, right? Yeah. Historically, every year of Smite's history, back when Stu was running the show, right? It would be like, doom and gloom September, October, right? Consistently, player numbers for our game have always trended down in September, like kind of like, depends on the year, but like between the very beginning and middle of September, and then they start to come back like middle end of October usually, just because of like a number of things. Part of it is like seasonal trends of people going back to school. A lot of people either like, whether you are a person who is still in school and you're going back to school, whether you have kids who are going back to school, a lot of people's just general like flow changes in the amount of time that they play per week,
or days of the week
that they play, can be affected by that. It happens every time, right? The other thing that happens, our game is a free-to-play game, is this is the time of year when almost all of the like big, highly anticipated releases drop, right? And like, so I mean, like Borderlands 4, Silk Song were both top 5 games on Steam. Dying Light actually did really well. Hades 2, like EAFC, EA Sports FC came out today. It's just like every couple days for that period, there's BF6 soon. Silent Hill just came out. I think they made the remake of Tales of the Sky did really well. Like, there's just insane games dropping every couple of days. And then there's also like some, like, I don't know if you guys have seen Mega Bonk. This is like the indie breakout game. Like, it has the kind of curve that's just like, this game's got something magical going on.
Vampire Survivors meets
Risk of Rain.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, this is the time of year where people go play some other stuff for a little while because the new stuff comes out. Most of them don't stop playing Smite entirely. They just play it less frequently. Like maybe I'll play a game a week instead of playing several days a week because I'm doing other stuff.
Distracted with other things,
But then historically, we always see people tend to come back middle end of October, right? So we aren't as panicked about the numbers going down this month as the community as a whole is, right? Just because this is very normal for us. So transparency about that. Going into like some of the specific things that Weekend was talking about, right? Our drops are boring. I think I can largely agree that our drops are consistent and there hasn't been anything interesting. But you've been working on some drops ideas. We're aware that
put me on the spot there. We were aware of the community, like you're saying, the drops aren't interesting, but also what we can realistically do based off what we have in the pipeline, short term, long term, as well, and try to find ways around that. Because the coin system, while on paper it looks kind of dull, it's very interactable for the players to get something themselves that they're interested in, rather than just forcing one thing down the throat. And it's what I would say.
We're also in this next update. We have kind of a bigger, fingers crossed, everything comes together. We have kind of a bigger, like, addition to the Wandering Market system, which will give you more ways to spend coins and more rewards tied to the whole thing. So we also think that those coins might become a more valuable drop here with the next update.
Or we could just take them out, and then we'll get rid of coins, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. But I think that the method is we are looking at like how the coins are interacting with the system. There was long-term goals for that, and they're being investigated too. But we are going to look at trying to vary up some sort of drops. No guarantees on what those drops are at the moment. It's still very early days, but we'll see what we can do over the next few months to increase or change the drops to be more exciting for a streamer to want to stream and put drops in the title.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, we're definitely not trying to like screw the streamers with bad drops or anything, right? No. It's mainly just like, hey, haven't done anything new recently. We're aware of it. Well, we're looking into it, right? Other stuff that he talked about was like switching to like a monthly cycle instead of an every 2 week cycle, right?
Right.
And I think that like there's certainly an argument to be made for that, right?
Was there mention like just switch to a monthly cycle and just keep doing what we're doing, or?
I think that his basic thought is that like if you switch to a monthly cycle, then you can have like if I'm releasing 2 gods every month rather than a god every 2 weeks, and then I've got whatever my gameplay beat is as part of that, right? It becomes a more obvious like marketing beat for players to rally around.
Yeah.
I would say we've had a lot of conversations internally about whether switching to something like that is better or whether sticking with our current path is better. Right now, I think we still feel like sticking with the current every 2 week path is better because like you aren't getting more content by holding it. It's the only benefit to players is that it's a better marketing moment.
Yeah, okay, I get where you're coming from.
Right, because it's like
there's a bigger beat. Here's 2 new gods for you to play, all the new additions for the month. However, we could have got some of that out 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, we could have basically it's like instead of getting Xbalanque and then Osiris, it would just be you don't get Xbalanque here, wait 2 weeks.
Here's Osiris and
Xbalanque at the same time. And maybe you don't get I'm blanking out because I'm like thinking like 3 patches in the future right now. But like the extra stuff that we shipped in the last patch, like you wouldn't get the curio system.
Yeah.
Right. Like instead, curio system plus lobby plus whatever else that there's some, like I said, there's some market stuff, there's some other stuff. All that would just be bundled into one update rather than split into 2. Right. And maybe it's easier to make content around. Maybe it's more exciting from a marketing perspective. Like I get that, but I think that like right now having regular additions to the game and constantly addressing players' feedback and feeling like there's constant progress and you're not like, okay, I have to wait a month for the next thing is more valuable right now for where we are. It doesn't mean that like
it won't change in the future.
Doesn't mean it won't change in the future. Doesn't mean that even like, in a couple months we don't reassess, right?
Yeah.
But I think that just like for right now, this is a better strategy.
I can see the argument for both of like, listen, once a month patch means there's a bigger boost of people interested in playing it.
Yeah.
But then you fall off after that first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're kind of falling off and then waiting for the next one, which is another 2 weeks, which is a similar cycle.
Yeah.
So in theory, you're getting that 1 beat rather than 2. But
there's pros and cons, right? Like I don't think that like you're wrong if you're suggesting that we should go to a monthly cycle instead, right? Yeah. I think that there's even like most successful free-to-play games, once they get to a certain level of polish, right, kind of are more like I have a big patch every 10 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like a big new season with a lot of stuff together, right? But I just don't think we're at some point, I would love to move to more of that kind of a cycle because I think it's easier for players to engage with and get hype about the thing. But I think right now in a game that like
is still
actively being developed, I think that this is just still probably the right path for us. I'm not reading chat at all.
No, we skipped a lot of chat. But
sorry. So if you've had takes on what I've said, sorry, I'll read some questions in a bit. I'm just kind of talking. I think the other major thing that he brought up, right, was that he wants like a return of SMITE Pro League with in-person LANs and like a world championship and stuff, right?
Sure.
And I think that like that would be awesome, right? I think that like that is a very expensive thing to do.
Yeah. And to be clear, just for the fans at home, it's millions.
Yes.
Like it's not cheap for us to put on LAN events, pro leagues, and the staffing that goes with that. As someone that's been with the esports scene for a long time, it isn't a cheap endeavor to run it. You can do it on a budget, but it's not going to be the same level that people would expect. And again, I guess in one regard, Kilgan, we've discussed this, it's too early for a pro league right now.
Yeah, I just don't think we're quite there yet, right? I think that like we're, at some point I would love to be there, right?
Agreed. Agreed.
I came into this company as like an esports fanatic, right? Like that's part of what got me the job in the first place, right? I love esports. I see the value of esports. I was one of the people who was arguing the most against esports getting more wound down the way it did, but I wasn't making the calls back then. And it's just, it is more expensive than you think it is.
Yeah. I want to point out a couple of things that people are going to mention about esports as well in chat. Someone said chances of getting greater support for community tournaments in the midterm. There is a lot of active community tournaments going on right now over in Europe and North America that are getting constant support. SMITE Prime is a regular thing that has a cash prize pool that actually has their finals once a month. They do a circuit. We've also got AGL, Albion Giants League, OSL, which does draft leagues, Tanuki Smite League over in Europe too, plus individual ones that run in France and Germany and stuff where they'll reach out and ask for it. They all do get support and promotion wherever possible when they've requested too. And you can actually see those things going in game. Could we do more in the long run? Yeah, but we need to see the growth as well. We're not just going to throw money at someone going, hey, I want to run a tournament. I need to see some sort of investment and growth before we continue to push further. Yep. But also, we've not got an insurmountable budget to be able to spend. We are spending at least $10,000 plus a month in terms of cash prizing, as well as diamonds and additional support that's going in there too. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's for people that want to play competitive Smite, I think there are outlets there, right?
Yeah.
I think that like
they just want more. That's what it is, and I get that.
Yeah, and for people that want to like watch the top level of plays, like SMITE Prime is pretty solid, right? Like is it at the same level of like the old SPL? No, but it's like basically like the highest end.
It is competitive Smite where you can see the games seeing the games casted live at the weekend alongside being able to see some of the top players that are still actively playing.
And I think that like, I think that esports in general has just become like a difficult thing across the industry.
I think a lot changed over the last 15 years of esports, to be honest, in terms of like growth in investment, but also looking at the outside of the investment of like what is the payoff for this and where the comeuppance is and what the actual cost ends up being involved. So
I mean, like
there's been a lot of changes through multiple different games and industries.
Overwatch League couldn't make it. We had like remember NBA 2K built like a whole
they had the whole
New York
NBA
studio thing that was really cool but didn't last very long, right? Like I think that like most esports nowadays is being like funded by a couple companies with state ties, right? Like. And it is a marketing expense. You have to look at it that way. But the marketing expense has like grown tremendously to the point where, even like Riot's not running LCS the way they used to. Like they combined multiple leagues together, and everybody that is a North American League player is like, well, is this as exciting as the LCS used to be? And you can tell it's probably because they were spending a lot of money on it, and they were like, it's not returning the way that they want it to. So I definitely see the value in SPL. Don't get me wrong. I see the value in esports.
Oh, we all do.
But it's just, it's been interesting to see how the entire industry has reacted to esports over the past
over the years,
5 years, right? So there was one other thing here. We can also talk about needing more interesting and fun items. He was just starting to talk about that, I think, as I was because I didn't watch the last couple of minutes of the thing. I would say I think that we have some interesting items. I think that we can always do more. I don't disagree or strongly agree with that take. I'm kind of neutral on it, right? I think that like we do need more exciting things to do. We need some gameplay shakeups. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think that we're working on some of those that hopefully we'll be able to talk to you about soon, right? I think one of the differences for how we're approaching development right now is we're less like, we need to ship X feature on Y date. Instead, we're saying it's more like a Scrum agile form of development if you're a nerd. And we're like, what are the top priorities? What are the things that we need to be working on? And then we're going to work on those things intently until we get them to a state where they're good. And then we're going to ship them when they're good, right?
Rather than like, we have a deadline, we have to meet this deadline, right? It's going to go out like this.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if you guys remember the first time we did like a seasonal map in Smite 1. We had those dumb bushes that like you attack twice to destroy, right?
Yeah.
And they were not, they were useless, right? But we had a deadline. We had to ship this damn map, and that was the best thing we could come up with and do in that time frame, right? I would rather be like, okay, well, I'm going to take an extra 2 weeks or an extra 4 weeks and make sure that this new gameplay feature that we're working on is fun. And then once we think it's fun and everybody's bought in, then we ship it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and we've been playtesting some of these things, and I think that they're trending towards being quite fun. I don't know if you've been enjoying them in playtest, but
yeah, I've been enjoying. There's a lot of stuff going on in playtesting. I want to talk with the community about it. I can't, so it's kind of just chat. But there is always stuff going on, including in the Conquest map, where things are changing and they're investigating and trying out new methods of doing things consistently. Yeah. Like I played some support aspects where I'm like, it's not really working, or it is working. You know, we've seen a lot of different things going on in the back room, but it's just not ready to talk about. We're at a point where we're happy with.
I happen to read a very funny comment, so I'm going to read it. Fire the employee next to Kilgoon and use his wages for SPL funding. He hasn't said anything yet. It's like he just sits there and gets paid.
Accurate. That's kind of what I felt like for the past 5 years, to be honest.
No, I mean, he was talking about Manny.
No, I know, but that's how I feel too, to be honest. However, listen, there is only a finite amount of investment you can put into esports at any given time based off where we are as a company. Mm-hmm. We don't have the funds to push esports further along right now. When we do, you'll see me try and do things with the community and work with people consistently. But there's, in a weird way, there's more stuff going on with making the game, and the value of the money that the company has needs to go to making the game over than creating a pro league or a really competitive esports scene. Yeah. Because everyone expects, take into account, I just want to put it out there, right? We put $10,000 on the line in terms of support for SMITE Prime per month, let's just say. We break down the prize in 7,000, which you can all see. So that ends up being that every player gets X amount, but then you've also got to pay the staff. Then you've also got to do all the setup and legwork. There's a lot that goes into it that just draws more money. So throwing more money at it isn't going to be overnight. And just to be clear, I don't expect us to ever go. If we do bring back the Pro League, it won't be an in-person Pro League again for quite a while, if ever, is what I'll say now.
Yeah, and like
the in-person LAN leagues just don't work as well as they should. And in the climate of the country, the world as well, of like how visas are handled and stuff, which was always a problem for us anyway, would have more knock-on effects.
Yeah, like I think that it's so... Everything is more expensive than you assume it is. It's kind of like when you buy a house and then it's like, oh shit, it costs how much to do a new roof? You know, it's like everything is more expensive than you think it's going to be. And it's like, I have reached out to so many venues over the last, decade of working at Hi-Rez. Today's actually my Georgia-versary. I moved to Georgia 10 years ago today.
Oh, okay.
So,
congratulations on Georgia for 10 years.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, but over the last decade, like I've reached out to so many different like esports, whether it's like a festival, or whether it's like a venue, and like, you're just to do the event before you talk about travel and hotel and feeding people and just the venue and maybe some like setup, you're in for hundreds of thousands of dollars to do any event.
100%.
It would be easier if it's cheaper if the place has like a screen that's built in that you can use.
Screens alone cost thousands.
Screens, just renting like a big screen is like, it can be like $100,000 for a weekend. It's crazy. Anyway, lots of stuff. Sorry, I'm just.
I mean, we started off with Weekend's video and just kind of went through, a semi recap of what you'd heard. And
what I saw so far on there. If there's anything else I missed from the video, but that's kind of most of the things he talked about. I don't disagree with, some of the stuff he said, right? I think it's just, we're doing the best that we can. Sure. And I think that like
we're not in an unlimited resources situation, I guess is what the wording should be.
Yeah.
Like we do have like priorities and again, just to go back over, like with the changes to the structure of the company throughout the year, throughout this past 2 years, like we're not at the same like staffing base as we once were to be able to perform all those things.
Pompon had a leak in his house this week. He's in chat.
I also have had one, which I wasn't. Yeah.
He says it's cost him $3,000 so far.
Cool. I had dirty toilet water in my bathtub yesterday.
That sucks. Yeah, I had a branch grow through the pipe that takes like my sewage to the street.
Your septic tank. Yep.
Because we were on like city sewer or whatever. $5,000 for a new pipe to be put in. That was fun last year. Anyway.
Yep.
Lots of sorry. That was.
What can the community do to help the most? I guess when we say help the most, do you mean like in? I mean, it's kind of like, listen, report the bugs that you find in game, right? If you think the game's good, tell people.
Yeah.
That's what I'd tell you to do. Tell people and keep playing the game, and support where you can. Similar to like if you don't have the funds, you're playing a free to play game. Just keep playing the free to play game. You know, your voice counts. We do care, but at the same time, like if you can support. There's not much more a player themselves can really do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, you know, if you're having fun, tell somebody, right? I think that one of the most important. So, have you ever gotten like a survey after you go to a business or whatever? And one of the things they frequently ask you is like, how likely would you be to recommend this business or this product to your friend, right?
Yeah.
That metric we have consistently found is one of the most important metrics for anything we've ever worked on, right? And it's like, basically the way it works is like, if somebody gives it like a 9 or a 10, then they are counted as telling people the thing is, they will tell people the thing is good. They are a promoter. If they score a 7 or 8, they're counted as a 0. It's like, it was fine. You aren't really going to tell people about things you do in your life that's fine unless they ask about the thing and you're like, oh yeah, I played it. It was fine, you know? And if you score it below like a 7, then you're a detractor and you're going to tell people like, that was not fun. Don't go play it. Right. And like having, you know, more 9s and 10s than anything else, having a positive, it's like the metric is called net promoter score. Having a successful, like high net promoter score and having people tell their friends is the thing that leads to games being successful.
Sure.
Right. So, and I know like a lot of you guys have been playing Smite for a long time. You told all your friends about it.
Yeah,
right?
you've
like,
played it once
if
before,
you're watching this, you've definitely
exactly.
you know, been doing this for a while. But I think that like net promoter score is and just telling your friends, you know, getting the word out however you can is like consistently more powerful than spending, you know, it doesn't matter if you spend millions of dollars to advertise a game where when the people that come in, they don't tell their friends to go play it, right? Like there needs to be like a viral effect to, you know, letting people know that like, this is fun, you should play it. Where are my ads for Chest Roll? Unfortunately, that was banned by Steam, so blame Steam.
Ads for chest rolls?
You used to be able to watch ads to get free chest rolls in Smite 1. It was a really great system.
I remember that
it
now,
was. We thought it was very like player friendly because it wasn't like, it's not like I'm doing Duolingo and it makes me like stop to watch a video every 3 seconds advertising for something, right? It was like you could choose to opt in to click watch video and then get rewards if you did. But Steam reached out to us in particular for violating their policies, which they said you can't have any video advertising in your products. We said, okay, fine, we'll take it down. So blame Steam. Let's see. My friends don't want to engage because things are changing too quickly. They don't want to have to learn new stuff and want changed every 2 weeks to feel competitive. I think that's great feedback, right? And I think that's partially like, that's where we are as a game.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that like if you're a casual player, you're probably going to put up with the pace of beta development, right? During Smite's alpha, there was a point because I played the game pretty early. I think I started playing around Thor or Cupid, like not like the very beginning of the game, but like I heard about it pretty early. I paid $30 for the Founders Pack and started playing the game. I thought it was good. There was a point where it was like, they were messing around with like focus and like just a ton of like major changes to the game. And I was like, I'm going to take a break. I'll come back.
Wait till it's
so I went and I played some other games and then I came back. I don't know, maybe a year later when, around when Siege came out. And I got super into the game and I have not stopped playing since. Right. I think it's pretty common that like when you're in ultra active, fast beta development, like it's too much for some people. They don't want to stick around and see it. But if they were like, I had a good time, I'm going to come back and check out that game when it goes 1.0. I think that's okay for where we are right now, right? Like we're not raking in the dough. We're not losing money, right? We're just going to keep working on the game and getting it to a place where it's good for 1.0 is the current plan. And then once it's ready, we're hopeful that a lot of people come back, give it another chance and see how much better it is since the last time they played it. Because I think that like if you go back and look at some of the early videos, right? Like
between last year and this year.
Oh yeah, dude.
Sure.
Like it's wild how much better the game has gotten, and I think it's just going to keep getting better before we get to that state. Is that what we're betting on for the player base when full release? No, I mean, I think our goal is still just like keep making the game better and grow the player base gradually over time, right? Which I think that we were on track doing before the same old September swoon that we see every year of Smite's history. So yeah, I think that we feel okay about like, obviously we'd prefer if the numbers don't go down, but like this is the time of year where we would expect them to go down. So hopefully they, recover and we keep growing over time. And then like ideally there's very positive feelings and feedback in the community ahead of like 1.0. And then like 1.0 is the thing that, a thing that helps contribute to sending it to like the next level.
Any fixing coming for Giannis Portal 1 on the ground, teleporting enemies back to the pool? I believe that has already been fixed. If you're still seeing issues with the Giannis 1 portal of people going back through it, please let us know. Send in a bugs request. But I do believe that one was fixed. Can we get the option to buy match boosters, worshipper boosters, XP boosters with wandering market coins without having to spend diamonds?
I will say there is a lot of cool new stuff coming for the market in the next update.
Okay.
I can't say exactly what's happening right now because we're still finalizing some details. But hopefully you will be very excited with the things that we are doing. Okay. I'm going to write this down just to keep forgetting about it. I'm not going to mention it out loud, but okay.
Can we get the ability to bind the agility relic? I believe that's being worked on. It's been raised multiple times, and there is look into it. I just don't have any further updates for y'all. I'm sorry.
Yep. Manny announcer pack win. That's a good one.
Would people buy it?
Would people buy it?
Yeah.
It just doesn't say anything.
Precisely.
Okay.
I mean, if people want it, we'll put it in the game.
Yeah. Hear me out. Smite 2 kill streaks. It would encourage my teammates not to go in and die, and it would be new and fresh to Smite. I like your point about not going in to die and protecting your kill streak kind of thing. I think that the problem with kill streaks is always just, it's kind of a win more mechanic, right? It's like, hey, I'm already winning, and now I get to do the thing that lets me win more. It's like,
yeah.
That's why I generally don't like it in games, but it's an interesting idea. Kill streak was actually the name of Rogue Company in development. And it was going to be just the name of the game until a partner, one of the platforms, said that they would not allow us to release the game on their platform with that name because it was considered offensive. So then it was changed. But yeah, fun story. I think that's probably why, like in COD, they're like score streaks now, right?
Yeah.
I think that I don't know. Somehow that was a.
There was score streaks.
Yeah. I'm not the platform. I don't know what the logic was there, but that was a real thing that has happened to us here. Platforms don't like the word kill. Well, I'm in trouble. Kill good. So
that's what I was like. What are you talking about? Oh, okay, kill good. Yeah, that does make sense.
Rama themed AC-130. I love these ideas.
Have you guys considered a $1 billion skin trading industry based off gambling skins from cases? It's a good point.
It's
probably been on our list of thoughts.
Yeah.
How would it even work?
I'm now a live goon.
How has the Artemis saga been doing? Are we in for another saga after Artemis? Maybe for Thor? This is what somebody asks. I guess it's early days for the saga so far, but...
Yeah, early days. I think one of the things that made Vulcan a success was that it had a long tail, which means that it didn't just sell well on the first day. It continued to sell well over time. So we kind of need to see if the Artemis one does the same. The Artemis skin sold better on day one than the Vulcan one did.
Okay.
But that you can't just compare day one to day one. But that's just the data I have off the top of my head. We'll keep looking at how it's doing. But yeah, I think overall it seems okay. Thoughts on the Marvel Rivals Gunnar skin approach? I think that it's interesting. I think that they can, I don't want to say get away with stuff, but like there's a long tradition of comic book art doing that sort of thing. And I think that like...
But I mean, technically, we've got gods and goddesses of mythology who are all naked, right?
Sure, we do.
Right.
But, I think it's just, it's interesting that they can, like, there are, like, there's always people that are, like, upset or sometimes if we go too far with that sort of thing. And I've not seen many people upset about what Rivals does. And I think it might just be because of, like, the tradition of comic art. Skins over fixing the game. You guys are so lost. It's brazy. I assume that's a typo from crazy. No, dude. Like we answer the questions that are asked. Like we've been talking about ways to fix the game.
We don't need to respond to a guy called Bongrick and Eric. That's what I was saying.
Eric.
Yep.
I didn't even read his name.
Also, for someone,
dude, he's just like, just like. Oh, that's amusing. Okay. Brazy is just his saying. Oh, okay. That's definitely doubling down on the fun here. Anyway, let's see. So chat's moving actually pretty quick today. That's funny.
It's moving quick, but also there's not a
lot of questions. It's just that rip looked legit. Kilgoon, do you indulge in the weeds?
I wasn't gonna say that, but it did look like him.
No, I grew up in California. I actually I don't smoke weed here in Georgia.
Well, it's not legal. That's why.
Yeah, in my youth I have partaken, but it's been a long time.
What a Titan Talks today. We're talking about substance use. I'm like, okay, cool.
Dude,
let's go.
It's legal there. You know.
That's true. Just clarify. Have you guys thought about creating or looking for group style system in the game itself? It's hard to find other people that are currently playing. I do like that idea of kind of an LFG, you know, but I don't know how you'd really implement it.
I think that generally speaking, things like Discord has been really helpful for people trying to find groups. The Xbox has communities that help. It's I don't exactly know how it works, but there's an Xbox community thing that helps you find people to play with. I think PlayStation has something similar. I think that those tools all kind of serve the same need, and it's is it better to put it in game, and how is it going to be different from just Matchmaker is making you a match, right? I don't know. It's kind of why we talked about what does it really do? Am I the one talking when we pick up candy in game? No, that's clumsy.
Is it only clumsy? Okay.
I think it's only clumsy. Xbox just has looking for group. Yeah. How's Joust Quick Play doing with new player retention? That's working well. It actually seems like it's just better than Arena, which is very weird. Other times we've tested it, it's been harder to tell, but it seems like it's just a little bit better. So we've been sticking on Joust for a little while. We may mix it up again, but for right now, we think that it's the right play.
Are there going to be any real fun gods point for the next year is up? I think that's the most interesting thing when people go, is it going to be a fun god? I'm like, well, I guess fun is in the aspect of the viewers and the player's mind, really, because some people think some of the gods that have come out are fun and interactive, and then others are still waiting for their specific main that they'll say is a main.
Yeah.
And they were rank 4 in Smite 1 on. And
yeah.
Go,
I'll
play now.
It's so funny, there's such a huge roster of gods in Smite.
Sure.
That people are
we're approaching 70s now, right? Or over 70s now?
I think we're at 66 in Smite 2.
Okay.
But there's 130 gods in Smite 1, right? And people are more attached to the gods that they specifically played than I think I maybe realized going into Smite 2, because I've always played a lot of characters. I'm not just I only play Neath, or I only play I just kind of whatever seems fun for that game, right? I'm not like a specific character made, but a lot of people are like, I only play, Osiris, and until Osiris comes to the game, I'm not playing. And like, it makes total sense. But I think that like at least the vocal percentage of players that are like that is more than I would have expected, especially based on like the data that we have. Most data that we have shows that people play a number of characters, maybe not like the entire roster, but like a number of characters.
I don't think anyone truly just plays one god. I mean, there's people out there with multiple stars, but they do sometimes play with characters.
Yep. Well, a definitive list of hard versus soft CC that we can view in the game.
So like just a spreadsheet page in the game that just says this is a hard CC, this is a soft CC?
Yeah, I think basically like if it's hard CC essentially means like stun, knock up, taunt.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Slow is a soft CC.
Slow is a soft CC.
Yeah. But there's a couple of weird ones that may get confused with is that a soft or a hard, I guess, is the standout though.
Yeah. Any thoughts about doing a middle ground schedule of 3 weeks? So we've talked about this. The issue is if we can release a god every 2 weeks, then do you slow down to instead release a god every 3 weeks, or do you try and do like alternating patches of like, because it's 6 weeks together, so one god, two god, one god, two god. Like it's hard to break up the work in a way that makes sense for 3 weeks. It's just an awkward middle ground for us. So I think that like it's feasible. Anything's feasible, right? But like, does it make the most sense? Hard to say. Do you think clans will ever come back to Smite 2, or do you think Discord took over the role clans served? I think that there were positive aspects of clans that Discord doesn't fully replace, right? But I think that like a lot of what clans were has been replaced by Discord, right? Because like most of our biggest clans were like content creator driven things.
Yeah, it was content creators, or it was like pros, which is still content creators to an extent. So yeah,
and most of those people like congregate in Discords now, right? So it's not like you really need that. I do think that there is we're missing some social aspects to the game, which can keep people more engaged, interested in making friends, right? Like I think that like that's something that we need to be doing a better job of. I don't know if like it'll ever come back exactly the way clans were, but I think there just were some positives to it. Can I spoil something because it's Friday? I not really. Sorry. I said that.
I mean, to say Monday you're going to be talking about some of the new gods.
Yeah,
coming,
Monday we're going to be talking about
Monday.
Some gods and some other stuff, and then we are going to have. I did spoil that we're going to have we're planning to have the next god in PTS. Yeah, a little spoiler.
It was. Stallone asked about, will we have some sort of roadmap for fixing bugs, etc. in game and releasing gods? I don't think we're going to do a hard one currently for a roadmap, but regarding fixing bugs, etc. But when you say fixing bugs, I mean we're just live fixing them as we can fix them. If they're in there a little bit longer, they're in there a little bit longer because they're going to take a little bit more time. But I will say a lot of the bugs do get fixed pretty quickly, specifically on the bug side of it, and then the god roadmap's a different thing.
Are we keeping the 2 week cycle? Yeah, we aren't changing. As of right now, the 2 week cycle is staying.
Just because people have had a discussion in open forums of what they think is better doesn't mean we're going to switch on a dime to a suggestion without further investigation and look. We think at the moment the 2 week cycle is probably the best cycle for us to stay in for the time being.
Yep.
That may change in the future though.
Mm-hmm.
The only bug we want in that Smite 2 is a Moves card. What about Capri? Poor Cappers.
Yeah. In one of the previous Titan talks, we said potentially about talking about the next 4 gods coming instead of 2. Yeah, I think that for right now, we're going to stick with probably 2, but I might give a couple other teasers about things that are like planned for those updates, which, are subject to change, but just a little bit more of that. And then we might go a little bit further roadmap-y later in the year. I don't know. Maybe you tune in on Monday and I've changed my mind and we do a bigger roadmap. But as of right now, I'm thinking just based on where we are, I might say next couple of gods instead.
Will anti-heal ever come back? Never say never, but at the moment, from my understanding, according to the devs, there's not a look for it to come back soon.
Yeah. Thoughts on giving words of hope that the future of Smite 2 will be good for the people who are dooming? Yeah, I mean,
what are we supposed to say here? That's the frustration. This is why I don't like being on the show, right? It's because we're going to see these questions, and I will eventually just get really frustrated with some of the questions where I'm like, what are we supposed to do? I don't get it. Like, what do you want from us in terms of, like, give them hope? What do we say? Like, if I can't say this god's coming out, is that going to change it by going, this god's coming out in 4 months' time? Is that really going to change people's perception? I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to change much. It's just going to be like, can we just get something that's going to make me... I don't know. It's frustrating. It's not rage baited as much, Olsen, because like I can sit here and take these all day and be sarcastic back, but I'm just trying to engage with you all a little bit more. Like, come on, guys, give us something.
I mean, I think I get it, right? Like, there is a lot of...
And everybody's got... Listen, everyone's hopes and dreams of Smite 2 are still there with like, man, this could be the best game ever in the future. It just needs time to develop. And guess what? We're developing it. It's not that it's not getting developed. It's being worked on. We just don't have it at the speed that everybody wants, which, let's be honest, we could all click our freaking fingers. It'd be tomorrow. But it's not.
Yeah. It's, I think that like, if you want something to be hopeful about, right? Like we're updating this game at a crazy pace, right? Every 2 weeks, you're getting a new god plus a bunch of other stuff, right? If we weren't committed to this game, we wouldn't be doing that, right? Like, we could be like, oh yeah, it is what it is, whatever. Like, we'll just ship some shit, right? Like the fact that we're like investing in like making the new player experience better, like that shows you that we're a game that wants to grow and continue to like not just cater to exclusively to the people that are playing the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to grow the game, right? We're putting out new content every 2 weeks at a pace that's like, I really believe unmatched in the industry, right? Like, I think that like we're really moving in a great direction. People just see the numbers go down a little bit. And it's not even that much. Like, this is honestly less than some of the Septembers we've had in the past,
sure,
like in terms of percentage. People see numbers go down a little bit and they freak out, and it's cool. Everybody's antsy.
Don't get me wrong. I'm happy the community's got passion of like, man, we want this game to be so good. What can we do to help? And that sort of thing. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, it's like,
and I understand like seeing a number change, like going down or whatever, makes people go, oh no, the world could be ending. But at the same time, it sounds weird. Give it time to end almost, or like give it more breath than just immediately going, it's over. It's a very snap reaction, which is just community, not just the community in Smite, but the community in the world in general is very just snap reactionary these days.
Yeah, I think that the world is so hot take nowadays, especially with like the way social media works and the way the algorithms surface things. I think that like we still feel like we're on a really good trajectory, right? Like we think that the game's getting better. Our internal metrics keep getting better, right? I'm do I look like a person who's worried right now? Like, I don't know. I mean, I think that like there's definitely ways we could be better, right? Sure. I'm not saying that we're killing it and we're 100% mega geniuses who know exactly the best thing to do at every time, right? But I think the good thing about the way we approach this game is that like we're constantly working to make it better. Yeah. And if we do make a mistake, we're really quick to address it, right? So will there be another stumble or two as we progress through the development of this game? Almost certainly, right? But will we make it better as quickly as we can as we keep taking, it's like the 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Hopefully it's more like 10 steps forward, 1 step back. But like, we're just going to keep going in the right direction.
I definitely feel like people who haven't played in a month or two come back will feel a huge difference, I want to say, month to month. But if you're playing consistently, you might not see those incremental changes as much.
Yeah. Yeah, Saw wasn't trying to troll you. It's just, that was just, he just wanted a little reassurance. Things going in a good direction. Excuse me. Can we have a feature roadmap? I think that this is actually a fair piece of feedback.
A feature roadmap?
Yeah, just kind of like, what should we be looking forward to other than the gods?
So for example, like at the moment, I know we've openly discussed we're looking at lobby changes. So like having a roadmap that kind of says, we're focusing on lobby changes for now, and then next thing along is kind of where we're looking here. Yeah. But I guess the timing, again, is the reason you've not done the roadmap is because you're worried about giving people hope when it might just take longer.
Yeah, and I think that like, I guess it's two things. I think it's first that like, it's really hard to say like a specific update because of the way that we're doing development now. Like I said, it's like this more Scrum agile thing where it's like, what's the most important? Let's do that until it's done, and then we go to the thing that's next on the list, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that like giving people some ideas of like, here are things that are at the top of our list in development, right? I think that that's something that we can do, and I feel confident enough about the things they're shipping in the next couple of updates. So I think that that's also partially why I'm like, maybe for this God roadmap on Monday, maybe I give a couple of like other features that are currently planned for that time frame as well, right? Yeah. And things can always change, right? And that's the other thing that always comes back to bite us. Like if I'm like, hey, we're working on like I talked about how we were working on new trees for Conquest, right? They weren't going the way we wanted, so we didn't use them. But I still get questions about like, what are the new trees for Conquest? It's like they weren't good, so we didn't use them. And maybe we'll come back and do some new trees some other time. But like, because I've said that we're working on trees, people are like, well, what about the trees?
That's the problem with the leaking of like what things are going on, because things may not come to fruition.
Yeah. So I think that this chatter says like a feature roadmap is okay as long as you word it as like what your top list is and not when we get it. And like, there needs to be some understanding that maybe something on the top list could get bumped, right? There's been like a couple things on our strategic planning doc that just keep getting bumped because it's like something else is more important at the time. So, people asking for their favorite gods, ambiguous feature map. Would we be able to get a community vote on some of the priorities? I would say potentially, which is not a very committal answer. I'm sorry. But I think there are lots of problems with community votes. One of them is that like from the time that the vote happens to when it actually occurs in game, it can take a while, right? So sometimes people are like, I'm tired of waiting for this thing by the time it actually happens. Second one is like, the community vote says we should do this with 60% of the vote. With 40% of the vote, people said we should do this. The people that were not in the 60 are like, F this, I'm not going to get the thing I want. I'm mad about the results of the vote.
Can't believe that happened. Community chose different to me.
Yeah.
I'm more important.
Yeah. And then like, I think the other thing is just like, community votes tend to engage the most active members of our community, right? If I held a community vote for new features, I would never have new player features be chosen by the community, right? Mm-hmm. Because the people that are active are people that have been playing the game for a long time, right? I think that it's fair to comment that we've been more focused on new player features over the past month or two, right? Like there have just been a lot of things that we didn't have that we needed to get done.
Yeah.
And you could make the argument that we, haven't shipped enough for active players other than a new god and aspect every 2 weeks and, curios and the anti-healing change and, lots of things. Mm-hmm. But, you could argue that we should have done more. I think that like, if you put it up for a community vote, right, we never would have done any of those new player things. And they've substantially changed our numbers in a positive direction. So yeah. I think that it's like Magic. Yeah, Magic the Gathering, right? They're like, the most popular format is kitchen table Magic, where people just play Magic with the cards they have, right? Mm-hmm. But you never hear from those players. And I think it's kind of similar for Smite, where there's a huge percentage of our player base that just doesn't participate in things. So I think that's the hard part about getting their answers there. Apparently I'm being sued if I don't give Loki int scaling.
Cool. There's some Loki spammers today for some reason. It's really big.
Yeah. Commander killed kitchen table. Yeah, you're probably right. Because Commander is kind of kitchen table, but with a legendary leader. That's fair. Does Halloween's chalk skin come with free prisms? So we were just talking about this, and we kind of decided the way that we were going to handle it. So I was going to wait to talk about this until next week, but...
Spoilers? Leaks?
Spoiler, I guess. I don't know. It's not like a huge spoiler. The way that we're actually going to structure it is we're going to say, if you get the chalk skin, it's going to unlock a Traveler for you that has the prisms in it. Okay. So you'll be able to then unlock the prisms, in whatever order you want. Feel like it, yeah. So we just thought that was a better structure that ties in with everything else that we've been doing.
Okay.
And so that's like the current plan. So yeah, you will. The prisms are all included as part of a traveler, and you'll be able to get them. They're pretty cool. I think there's 4 of them, and they're pretty good looking. I was just looking at them the other day. Sorry, I'm not going to read that one. But it's an amusing one. Oh, there's a Morrigan glitch where her Curio disappears after her first time ulting.
I will make a note and let the team know. Just disappears.
Feature request, different audio cues for enemy kills, team kills, and personal kills. Announcer packs don't provide immediate feedback in team fights. So going back and re-recording announcer packs probably isn't doable.
Sure.
But maybe like the sound of like the chunk sound effect could be different based on those factors. Could be something we could do.
If SMITE could get a dream collab with an entity, who would it be? It's a very individual question. I feel like everybody's going to have their own takes on that. What would yours be?
I don't know. That's tough.
I'm actually thinking myself now.
That's hard.
For some reason, my brain went straight Pokemon without even thinking about anything.
Pokemon would be cool.
Without thinking.
It'd be hard to make it work right, though, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Unless you give the gods Pokeballs that they throw out and have a Pokemon fight for them or something.
Yeah.
That's Star Wars could be good.
Star Wars could be cool.
A lot of Star Wars spam in chat.
Yeah. Doing something with the super giant characters would be cool. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's so many different angles that you could go with it. And I think that we've done like so many that were towards the top of my list it's hard to be like, I've always wanted to do, I'm actually not like a huge anime guy, but I've always wanted to do like a real anime crossover,
like a Berserk or
Berserk or
Naruto, or I'm thinking of just random anime.
Like
One Piece,
Jujutsu Kaisen, like just I don't know, Dragon Ball, whatever, right? Like I think that those Fate is one that comes up a lot because the characters are gods, right?
Yeah.
I think there's any of those kind of like more like mainstreamy animes would just be really cool, and I think it would fit with what our players like. And I think it would be neat to see those characters doing their thing. I think it would like feel like it kind of fits with the game, right? I think there's in our time of doing this, right? It's like it feels like for it to be a good fit for the game, it needs to be characters that have some kind of like magical powers or something that are in an environment where they fight, right? Naturally.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, it feels more of an awkward crossover, right? It's kind of like a lot of people are kind of hating on the new Magic the Gathering crossover set.
The Spider-Man one?
Spider-Man, yeah, because it's like something about it just doesn't feel magic-y, whereas people love the Final Fantasy crossover set.
Yeah.
A Final Fantasy crossover in SMITE would also be awesome, by the way. But yeah, I think that like there's just a lot of, there's things about your universe and the way it treats characters that needs to be
balance.
Yeah. And I feel like most of those like shonen anime do things in a way that would fit with the way that SMITE works.
Well, it's 1:59.
Is it already?
Well. It's gone quick today. I wasn't expecting it to. Yeah. But at the same time, I guess we had a lot of nothing to cover, but a lot of everything to cover because videos come on and just discussing things. So without further ado, it's time for one more question. So feel free to drop your questions in chat. We'll try and answer them.
What are you drinking today?
Water. Yeah. Shockingly. Who would else would have?
I have an Orange Kiss.
Okay. Orange Kiss on Friday.
Yeah.
Are we getting a new Wandering Market next open beta? I guess.
No, there's more. There's new travelers, and there's a new
leaks
kind of market feature, I would say. But I don't want to fully talk about it yet. But it's not a new collection. I got to pick a question here. Oh yeah, let me write that down too. Let's see. Kilgoon head award. Nobody wants my head as a award. Like I understand that 10 people in this chat want it, but nobody would use it.
I think you see it now and again, just randomly floating around in a match.
I don't.
You don't want your head in there?
No,
yep,
no.
I feel that. My voice is in the game. I didn't really want that once upon a time, but Here we are.
I'm just gonna take a silly one because
Yeah,
I feel like we've talked a lot about like
we have been quite
really
serious,
SMITE today. Normally I go on more tangents. What is your favorite Taco Bell order?
Okay. So Taco Bell doesn't really exist in the UK, or didn't.
Really?
It wasn't a very popular thing. So Mexican food isn't like high priority in the UK. You'll get Spanish food and stuff, but it's not as big as like Indian food, for example.
Yeah, the Indian food is huge. It's really good there too.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And then finding it in America is really difficult. However, like Taco Bell orders is something I've had to come to terms with over here and get used to. But I'm lazy and I'll just get a chalupa box or something. However, the Mountain Dew Baja Blast is still like the
Baja
go-to.
Blast is
That's the
pretty
one
solid.
thing to go for that.
Yeah.
That's all I know about my order there. For the most part, my wife will order it for me because I'm lazy, but I prefer soft tacos to hard tacos. That's all I know.
Okay. So my all-time favorite, I've eaten a lot of Taco Bell in my day. My all-time favorite Taco Bell menu item is the double-decker taco. Have you ever had a double-decker taco?
I don't. Maybe is it like taco within a taco?
So it's a
hard shell and a soft shell?
taco with a layer
shell?
of beans and then a hard shell or a soft shell. On
I
the
think I
outside.
have had that. Yeah.
It's incredible. They stopped selling it. So nowadays, I think my favorite thing might be the cheesy bean and rice burrito, which is pretty standard, pretty boring.
Yep.
I'm glad they brought back the Mexican pizza. Mexican pizza is solid. I feel like it's not as good as it used to be, though. I don't know if they actually changed it. I'm big on fast food Mexican. I don't know if you know this about me. My wife and I are actually fanatics for Del Taco.
Okay.
Del Taco, my wife is from Barstow, which is the city where Del Taco was founded. So she's got like a personal connection with Del Taco. And Del Taco is also just really good. So I could go on for another 10 minutes talking about Del Taco, but Del Taco is better than Taco Bell, but there are good things on the menu of Taco Bell.
Gonna get a question about what our take.
Moe's is the best, is the worst Southern coded
Welcome
take
to
I've ever
Moe's.
seen.
It's okay.
Moe's is fine, but it's like
I mean, it's just a Chipotle. You know?
it's
the same thing.
like I feel like Willie's is better. I feel like Qdoba is better. I feel like Chipotle is better. I feel like
We're heading down a rabbit hole here.
yeah.
Nope.
Sorry,
It's okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
thanks for watching today. Sorry
Yeah.
for the fast food tangents at the end.
I mean, that's part of the show. For the most part, you get a bit of randomness from behind the scenes
Yeah.
too. Oh, but thanks so much for joining us today. Monday will be the next Titan Talk. I won't be here, but Kilgun will be, and he'll be talking over some of the new gods coming to Smite 2 as well. Then Wednesday, we'll talk all about Osiris and get a bit more of a deep dive into him, even though you've seen him a little bit. And then maybe we'll show you some more other stuff as well. But in the interim, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you on the battlegrounds. See you later.